my hair. I need my retwist done. But I'm not about to go through my whole um introduction for real. I mean, yeah, I'm Darian Nichelle, aka Nikki J. Look in the description for like whatever. Anywho, I just want to talk about so I'm about to do a quick vent because like I was on Instagram and I came across a snippet video of like Tupac, and please know that I cuss and all that. So if that's a problem for y'all can go ahead and click out if you way too sensitive, because it's to me it's just a part of language. Like it's language and whatever. So like but I was looking at this video and it's of Tupac, and it was like it was a snippet of him on an interview or a panel or something, and like whatever was happening, you know, in the video, they was talking about like him. They said he was promoting like police brutality or violence against police and all that shit. Like the same stuff that we just was having, the same dialogue that's still going on now, right? So when I looked at the comments underneath, because I'm popping my shit in my head, and then I look at the comments underneath, and like somebody was like, they feel they don't understand. And that shit pissed me off so much because I'm like, hey, first of all, like let's stop acting like it's something so hard to be fearing or understanding, like in the basic manner of anything. Like that shit just feel like an excuse to me these days. Like, what the fuck do we mean? Like, what do we mean they fear what they don't understand? Like, what's so hard to understand, even on a basic level of like being another being that's in the same existence of you, right? Like that's fucking different, like, but similar but different. Like got some similarities but different. Like that shit ain't hard to understand, and it don't have to be fear because it's enough of them that understand that, right? Like I don't think all white people evil. I ain't even about to pretend like that. And like I don't fuck with people. Like I don't fuck with nobody that I don't trust, and I don't trust them as a collective. So like when they come through me, they gotta come through my spiritual team, like directly, and they gotta resonate with my spirit that like they safe or whatever. Because I understand like warfare and shit, and at the end of the day, if something pop off, like who you protecting, right? Like who you protecting. So yeah, on that basic level, like who you invested in, what you invested in, like all that shit matter to me. So like I keep it real this way, right? Like I don't really have to touch nothing that I don't have to touch. And so with that being said, I so it was like they feel they don't understand. So then that pissed me off. Like stop giving credit to shit like fear and understanding and whatever else. Like you don't have to fear what you don't like. What is it to understand, nigga? Like what? But then what made me even more mad, because like I love black people and I be giving us the benefit of the doubt, and like because I love myself so much and I'm so like, hey, I am who I am, and I can see like the systems, because I'm more interested in dismantling systems and shit, or like whatever. Like to me it's about the systems and not really the individuals, and like the systems represent like everybody under individual, because of course you are going to go into underneath the system that like actually benefits you, right? So like when we come to talk about shit as a black community, as black people, like I'll just be wanting to be like, I'm gonna be real raw, like shut the fuck up about like all the shit that they do that suppress us, all the shit that they do that we just want to put the blame on. Because I'm not even, and don't even think that I'm giving them a pass, because them niggas are who they are. Like, and if you know me, I feel like I don't even have to say that, but some of y'all might just be tuning in and y'all don't know me, and I guess like whatever, like, but I still want to say that like, no, I got some real like hate in my heart for real to some extent, and like, yeah, like at some point I'm like, where's the accountability at? Because them niggas came up in here and they like started making boss moves. Apparently from the stories and shit that we telling, we allowed them to come in and make some boss ass moves on a planet that we was already on, and like existing in, and just and we actually dominate in numbers. Like our numbers surpassed theirs so much. So we came in and just like essentially became bitches to them, like, right? Now I had a like grandfather channel, like ancestral channel message, because I am a medium. I do channel messages and stuff, like whatever. But like just whatever. Go look at one of my other videos. I ain't about to get sidetracked. But I'm just like, and it was a tribal leader, and they were saying that like, you know, like I had a message because I was there, and it was just like when you seen them coming, you ain't know what was happening. But like even that, like our warriors ain't just like what we seen. Like when we got there, you thought there was gonna be a problem. So like I'm just like, we ain't just start chopping off necks and shit. Like we ain't just start like, I mean, not to be like that, but like that's how they do and all their entertainment and all everything. They get to just be free and shit. So like, okay. And then I had another message like, well, we was just like, we don't know where pretty much where they touched that and all that other stuff. So like now we gotta watch them and see what's going on. But I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, why we gotta go so far down deep, right? So then even that, like, whatever. So I'm gonna bring it back, like for whatever the reason, whatever it is, they here, right? And they ain't really been here that long. So you mean, and that's just even science. So you mean to tell me that like in all this little bit of time that we just allowed them to come in and dominate us to this extent across our fucking lands that like we, and now we just like, oh, I'm so sad, I'm so hurt, I'm so whatever, and like expecting something from them for real, like nigga. At the end of the day, it feel like that we, because I did get a channel that was like, you know, just from our hospitality and our rules and our culture and who we are, we had to maneuver a certain way and do certain things. And like, yeah, all they trickery and shit. Is my face breaking out? All they trickery and shit might have been displayed. Like, I'm not going to minimize like how we could have got here, but like being here for so long and the stories and the energy that we allow ourselves to like to be in, like to be told about us, like that they came in and made us they bitch for real and like did all kind of stuff to us, like that was like so disgraceful in the land, in the community, in a realm in which like we were here. And then like I said, even when you look at the numbers and like all this, like it's hours. And when you look even down in like the science and the history and stuff, like it shows that the numbers in here, like we were here, period. So how you gonna come try to tell me that like all of a sudden, like, and I'll be trying not to be disrespectful because like the stories of slavery get real, like very, very disturbing, and like just based on who they are and what they represent, even with themselves and the things that they do, like they can get disturbing. So I'm not even like taking that out the box because like I feel like even coming in and you see how disturbing they get, like don't nothing in my mind really be telling me like how they still got to this much in power, right? So like whatever we whatever that might have been, whatever agreements, whatever we felt like we were stuck in, at the end of the day, like now I'm playing like the other side. Like they came in and they like just essentially like we gave them, for one of my channels, we gave them land. Like we created hospitality for them to build and for them to do whatever and whatever, right? Like to create, like that's hospitality. Like you foreign on this land, whatever happened, like we gotta sit back and let and see what happened. Okay, whatever that story is. So even if following that, like whatever we gave them, whether they, and it ain't like not saying because they trickery, they trick, they lie, they do all that stuff, right? And all that, all the stuff that they do, all the energy that they be in, like that is that. But whatever systems that they created was like supposed to be for them to create for them, like for them to sustain and for them to live and for them whatever. So as they started creating, and in those stories where they started creating and they was turning against us and like doing stuff like killing the people that we care about and doing all these like extreme acts of anything, like why the hell would we why we ain't just like tap back on their ass at any point in time? And I know we have stories in which we did, but clearly not enough. And I feel like if you hear and you find out that you got an enemy, like you just take them out. Like you take them out across the board. So like now we here and whatever it is systems they prospering in, instead of us like really just building our shit up and like investing in each other for real, like we just like continue to give up our life to invest in theirs. Like we continue to give up our life, our kids, like we continue to like lay our generations on the line as a fucking open sacrifice to be a part of they what? Like what are we doing? Because a lot of times you're not even like dancing and playing with them and like loving them or like in a bed or like in a vicinity or like at their tables or anything for real. Like so what's the reward for like what's the reward for allowing ourselves to be so handled so disrespectfully and disingenuous, like, period, like, in any kind of way that doesn't like benefit us individually or collectively, for real, or our children. Like, where's our basic like survival instincts, right? Like, protective instincts, like legacy instincts. Like, what is that? Where does that come in at? Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, at what point in time is we gonna understand that, like, they building systems for them, and if you gotta come to them, then of course you coming to them, like, right? So it's still slavery. Like, you saying, all right, instead of like I'm gonna go through here, like, and I understand, like, it's so many layers to it, and I be like trying to like make sure my thoughts stay together while I'm popping this shit off, but like I be trailing to different things, but like it's still the same thing. Like, they create hospitals because like they create poisons, shit, medicines that work for them, that's beneficial to them, that's poison to us in our systems, that destroy us in our systems. They freaking destroy their food and they land, like, in ours and whatever, like, whatever it is that work for them. Like, they create a bunch of cows and take the milk, and if you notice, like, that shit work for their diets. Like, they diets work for them, apparently. Like, and then we just like, I don't know, like, where's the draw gonna be at? Where's the fire gonna be at? Where's the motherfucking like community gonna be at? Like, where's the accountability? Where's the self-respect? Where's the honor? Where's any goddamn thing to fight or anything to be like, or the common fucking sense to say like, hey, they shit really don't work for us, because even when I go and put in all this money and do all this stuff, like, I'm still down here. So like, I really don't have to be tapped into they shit. Like, do y'all think they smarter than us? Do y'all think they more like stronger than us? Do y'all think they more powerful than us? Do y'all, what's the mentality over here? Like, why we so weak-minded all of a sudden? Why we so yuck, like, as a collective, like, where we got to keep going to essentially suck they dick that like really don't work for us to get a penny or a dollar, instead of us like, okay, like, this is our fucking realm, this is our earth, this is our land, and just like building shit. Like, are we still scared because they told the stories back then, whatever happened? Like, and I ain't really trying to dismiss them. Like, we know, we hear the stories about them flooding towns and having all this wealth, like evidence of all this wealth and all that, and how whatever, but like, then we don't fucking tap back. We don't come in and tap back. We haven't learned how to network and create our own people that's doing shit, because like, if you know anything about anything in this world, like, everything is up for grabs, everything is up for sale, everything is like, everything is everything. Like, if this creating a system to where they got underground and they tell you in the news, like, they selling all kind of shit, like, they doing all kind of shit that's beneficial for them. At what point in time don't we counter that shit for us? Like, at what point in time don't you cover that shit for us? And if we got to be in the same existing plane of existence, at least at that point when we start like deciding that like the more we invest in them is de-investing in us, the more we invest in them is like creating more of them, but like slaves? Like, what? So like, what are we making sense to y'all? Like, why do we gotta be on such day scale for real? Like, certain stuff, like, I just be thinking like education is because and to be like all the way for real, like, I ain't really paid attention to them for real. Like, I know they a problem and I know their systems is the problem. So when I create businesses, it's for to be a solution, like, just on the impact is how they create they shit for them. Like, and I'm just like, at the right time, like, my people gonna pull up, my people gonna walk beside me, and then that's gonna be that. Like, I'm not worried about them. And at this point in time, like, nigga, if you gotta tap, we gonna tap back. Like, we ain't, I don't know. So I'm just like, why we still like tripping out about the fact that like we in debt and they not forgiving our student loans, or like we in debt and we for going to their schools, and now we can't like make a living because like they created businesses, and like now we want to go work for them in their business instead of collectively coming together and seeing the shit that they do. Like they create systems where they're gonna get loans to where they're gonna come together with actual real money or fake money, because all of it is made up, right? Like their entire currency system was made up. So like they're gonna create systems that work for them. So they're gonna create their own currency that they transfer along each other. So then they're gonna create the banking system where they hold it to where it's imaginary, and then we gonna work for them and put our money in their banks that they go now have created another system, which means investments and all of this stuff. So now our money makes their money grow, because essentially now they take our money. Like we put their money in the bank. We put our money in the bank. So now that shit becomes imaginary money for real, like imaginary. So when we go to the bank, they just gonna give us whatever, but they not gonna let us ever come past a certain amount on any level. Like when they create a business, it's for their family, it's for their legacy, it's for their success. It's not for nobody else. Like that's the basic survival of a species. Like I'm creating a legacy for me. And if I understand that like you got what I need to come over here and pour into it, then you got what I need to come over here and pour into it. Like, and if you gonna do it and you gonna also offer me your kid and your grandkid and your great grandkid and whatever generations, then I'm gonna accept that too. And if all I gotta do is like boost it up a little bit for you to be satisfied, then oh well, okay. And then even when you talk about like policing, like we know that policemen wasn't made for us. Like what, are y'all not reading shit no more? Y'all not paying attention to like any goddamn thing at this point in time? Like what we've been doing all these years that ain't working, that got our goddamn kids not being able to have no recreation, not being able to have no nutritious food in their goddamn neighborhoods, not being able to have like clean goddamn air, not being able to roam across this fucking earth that we own, that we've been on forever, like as free as theirs. And we gonna keep crying about the shit instead of just like picking up and doing shit for us, ourselves. Like how the fuck are we killing each other over paper money when we own the goddamn gold, when we own the goddamn oil and all the fucking resources, and we came together? Like how hard is it for people to understand when they say black motherfucking Americans own the goddamn world financially, collectively, and we are supposed to be the most fucking suppressed? But instead of us doing the right fucking thing and investing in the continent, in the places that have the fucking minerals to get us out the bullshit that we in, we keep begging these niggas for anything. And then when our fucking veterans come home, and wait, before I even get to that as a goddamn veteran, because I'm real pissed off when I think about the fact that we having our kids still having to sign up in they goddamn military that sends us across the fucking borders to kill us and the people that's trying to make a difference for us, for them and they shit. Are y'all kidding me? Like that shit don't make no sense. Them niggas got me in high school. What the fuck was we not doing together? And yeah, I grew up in foster care and I wasn't nobody's kid for real. Like I'm out here in the world by myself. But I wasn't the only girl there, and I wasn't the only black girl, nigga. I was in there with a girl from fucking Nigeria. I was in there with a girl from fucking West India. I mean, from the West Indies, like they families, like, so they coming in our shit, and not even to touch on all the men that I know that went in. Like, so they come in and they come to our fucking neighborhoods. Like, if y'all pay attention, I don't know how much y'all travel outside y'all communities, but they be in our shit posted up. Our communities. Taking our fucking kids, putting us through fucking trauma and shit, nigga. I went through a fucking gas chamber. Do you know what that shit had to do to my body? And we was in that bitch. We had to take off our gas mask and then recite our fucking name, social security number, birthday, and whatever, while the fucking gas is coming through to make sure that, like, we train our bodies to be able to breathe in that shit. Do y'all not get that shit? So when somebody tell me that when I put my dead baby's fucking picture in the book that I created about my life, that they was disgusted how she looked, motherfucker, I went through a gas chamber. I had to go, like, all they fucking medicines and toxins that they put in, we the fucking experiment. Of course shit gonna happen to our bodies. And instead of us collectively saying, oh my God, let me look around and see what the fuck they doing to us, and let us put our resources together and pour into our fucking sisters and building up our own military or whatever we gotta do to make sure that we safe. We over here crying about what the fuck they can't give us. Like, nigga, I'm in my apartment as a fucking veteran. I got attacked, and I live in a community with so many black people, and motherfuckers just sat the fuck in their apartment, and the shit happened. The fucking police came, and they ain't really had my back. I've been going through the fucking justice system to get shit done, and every fucking thing, like every step of the way. And you mean to tell me that all the motherfucking black people, all the shit that I done did for people, any goddamn thing that I done sacrificed ain't been enough for niggas to stand the fuck up for me at any point in time? My motherfucking gas been off all goddamn winter. Since last winter, they cut my shit off. I've been trying to get my gas cut on, going through any organization, and I can't even be mad. Why? Because it's they shit. Them niggas, it's the main employees. They got the motherfucking lock on all of it. So if I'm pissing somebody off, however it work, because we work against us for the dumbest shit. Like, you want to sabotage somebody because they told the fucking truth? You want to sabotage somebody because they fucking sucked the dick that you like too? You want to like, what the fuck are we doing as a collective, as individuals, as any goddamn thing, and think that shit is all right, like supposed to be celebrated? What the fuck is wrong with us? And then crying? Like, this is the fuck with how we, everybody happy with the fuck the way we living? Like, we think this shit is okay? Y'all satisfied? You satisfied with not being able to fucking plant whatever the hell you want in your own shit? You satisfied that, like, you can't get the house that you want in the neighborhood, that when you go to the bank, they tell us every time what the fuck is they doing, nigga? Like, they telling you when you come in, no matter what bank you bank at, no matter who the fuck you think you are, it's their bank. You putting your money in. So when you say you want to buy a fucking house, guess what? They gonna make that shit hard as fuck depending on where you buy the house at, right? Hell yeah. And then we letting them come in our neighborhoods and buy up all our fucking land in our communities. And not only that, because I'm fucking I've been a reader all my goddamn life. So when I do fucking research papers and I'm following where they researching at, and I'm writing papers and I'm saying like, hey, I wouldn't do that. So when I'm fucking doing research on the HPV vaccine or the VID vaccine, whatever vaccination or whatever the fuck they keep telling us to get, and I'm telling y'all like, hey, that ain't smart. Like, that shit gonna fuck up your body. Hey, maybe you need to start fasting. Like, y'all not listening to the people that's trying to tell us what the fuck to do to get back control of our right state of mind, to get back empowerment so that we can be in fucking power. Like, what's the point of having like politicians or any goddamn body or anything in any fucking position if we ain't gonna make a fucking difference for us? Like, who are y'all fucking that's so important? What are y'all doing? Like, what the fuck are y'all celebrating around this bitch all the time? Huh? And I be trying not to be in nobody's shit because I'm like, damn, life is hard. We need a breather. Damn, life is hard. We need to be able to celebrate. Damn, life is hard. We need to be able to be who we authentically are. But like, why are we arguing about who the fuck our kids want to grow up and love and have sex with? Why the fuck is that a conversation? To the extent that, like, we mad at each other. Like, what does that make? Like, nigga, you didn't birth that. And granted, I ain't got no fucking parents for real, right? Like, no parents, no grandparents, or no fucking live children, or none of that. So I can't even say that personally I understand it. But when I look around me, like, I see people that love their parents, that love their kids, that love their grandparents, that cherish them. Am I right? Like, that's what y'all be presenting as. So you mean to tell me that, like, You want somebody to kill your people because of who they love, because of who they fucking in their bedroom, because of how they dancing, because of how they celebrating. Like, that's the shit that we argue about. That's the shit that we focus on. Are y'all out of y'all fucking mind? Like, that's the shit that we killing each other about. Like, nigga, you got people that's out here trying to make shit happen, and instead of you trying to ask how you can be of service to the ones that's up there, like, instead you got your eye out on them and we letting them kill the niggas that's trying to make a difference. Like, what the fuck? But like, y'all don't get it. Like, that shit don't resonate. That don't make sense to y'all. It don't make sense at all to none of us at all. At motherfucking all, to where we can get together and actually have some round tables or some, fuck a round table, but like some conversation and putting some money up and doing something that's actually going to get us somewhere, investing in people that's going to get us somewhere before they fucking get tired. Because when I tell y'all that I been clocking businesses that my ass been creating for the last fucking 20 years coming into fruition now, today, do you know how many places I tried to shop business plans, like through their systems and through people that I knew that was making moves? Like, nigga, I sleep and breathe business because I've been in this bitch by myself forever for real. Like, even when I had a moment of support, nigga, that shit was temporary. So you think I ain't walked around this bitch and see the problem? I have to. Why? Because my fucking survival depends on it. Because y'all niggas don't be shit. How many niggas whose families I was in who I had to push a nigga up off of me when I couldn't help it? Like, and I ain't even about to go through that because my story is already on here if you want to care about that. What I'm saying is, like, when do we start pulling in and protecting each other? When do we start pulling in and taking care of each other? When do we start pulling in and truly investing in each other instead of like, we competing for what? Like, positions in they fucking schools? I went to one of they goddamn schools and I created some shit for them that they didn't even know, just off the basis of like, I wanted to do something different. Y'all don't see our fucking power. Y'all don't see how creative we are across the board. And we depending on them. We think they the ones. And you can't look around and see like, nigga, whatever you think that you doing, they steady creating shit to get your ass out the way. Like, period. They AI, they technology, and they say it. Like, whatever technology they are creating, they are telling you it's a problem for black people because they don't recognize us, or when they use their technology, we are convicted even more wrongly, more wrong convictions when you use their AI technology. Like, what are y'all following in y'all timelines? This shit don't seem like it may be important for you to look at and think about, like, the child that you love, whether it's your own or whether it's your niece or your nephew or anything, like what that means for them in the next couple years, or if they ever gonna make adulthood. Like, when y'all see them slaughtering our fucking babies in the street, you know how fucking mad I was as a veteran to see like all our fucking men and women that they was slaughtering and just putting that shit on social media, and we just like, what are we doing? Like, because the first thing that I did, nigga, was post up in my mind. In my mind, I had already followed the motherfucking perpetrators to where they people live at, where all they motherfuckers was at, and everybody, for me, it was, if it was good for one of mine, it's good for your whole motherfucking family. Like, that's where my mind go automatically when it comes to motherfucking people that I ain't even birthed, that I don't even know, that I don't have no connection with in the physical, but simply for me being a black motherfucking woman and having black people that I love and being tired of being in this bullshit ass environment. So hell yeah, when I have fucking $600, if I gotta fucking sell my car and rent that bitch out for $300 and let her make payments and then rent out my goddamn apartment that I got like Section 8 on or whatever, like, to be able to get out this bitch and breathe so I can think and feel safe and feel calm and collected, or any goddamn thing, if I gotta go across the fucking water so that I can feel safe, so I can fucking breathe some clean goddamn air, so I can have access to like a water. And then when I think like niggas talking to me about, oh, they don't want to go over there because it's not safe. Y'all think we safe in this bitch? Like, y'all think we safe? And even for the people that I follow, and I'm like, hey, y'all think having the latest technology, the latest phone is the shit, when like our brothers and sisters in the DR is telling y'all that like the more that y'all invest in that shit, the more they fucking earth is crumbling. And we ain't even collectively like maybe trying to send some money over there to help them rebuild their shit or to do anything. And not to like dismiss the fact that like my sisters on the other side are responsible too, because them niggas in y'all house too. I see y'all cleaning up though. I'm gonna give y'all credit. Like, I see y'all cleaning up and kicking niggas out, and I love to see it because I've been clocking y'all shit too, like across the water. Like, all right, why is that nigga over there? Why is that happening? Why is that happening? Why is that happening? And then when I started traveling, I started realizing like, oh, because of the fucking the censorship that's in place, like, and because of technology, they may not have the same information that we have access to. So like, whatever they said that they bringing over there as a solution, we know is a problem. Those over here that's paying attention, but they ain't letting that information come out over there. So when I read articles that say that like the motherfucking Gates Foundation went over a bunch of places and they fucking come out and they give they damn toxic ass medicine, we'll just call it that, and then all the fucking village kids was dead within the next couple days. That's what the fuck they doing over there. When I was talking all the way back then about like, hey, they going over there and they are purposefully injecting people with the HIV virus. Nigga, I'm reading the articles like, but if you can't understand it, if you can't fathom it, you think the shit is a joke, you think it don't happen, like, y'all want to dismiss us as conspiracy theorists or whatever that shit is, like, nigga, it's information. Like, what we gonna do about anything? And when you know that your money go further over there, why wouldn't you try to invest over there with somebody that's doing goddamn business? So instead of having to rely on they paper dollars, well, now you can invest in gold. You see they asses trying to get the fuck over there. They've been going over there in our fucking land with our brothers and sisters, like creating partnerships and shit. And we just like over here doing what? Like, yo fucking $400 or whatever you spending on every goddamn new phone every time you feel like you need a new phone that is causing issues in the environment. You know how much you could do with that over there? And I'm just throwing out small numbers because some of y'all actually be wasting way more money. Like, whatever I'm working with, whatever these niggas will not let me get a fucking leg up out of to get up out of here at all, whatever it is that anybody just gotta have me down here so they can suck whatever energy off of my ass. Whatever reason I had to be at this fucking plateau for so goddamn long, at the fucking bottom of the damn bottom forever, like trying to act like my ass don't be out here and haven't been out here pushing the goddamn streets. I ain't had a fucking break, okay? When I say that I've been going into the fucking system as a baby, that's what I mean, nigga. Like, do you know what it is when you ask a grandmother or a mother if they remember your ass being premature and they say no, but you got documentation saying that your ass was definitely born, whatever. Maybe I was supposed to be aborted, but it don't matter. I was in the goddamn NICU in the hospital for the first month of my life. So for the two matriarchal supposed to be women in my family to say, nigga, I don't remember that when I come my ass around at 18, 19, 20 years old, then what the fuck? Like, nigga, that should tell you how my ass been out here, right? Like, I've been out here. When I say that the woman that adopted my ass fucking banged my head on the goddamn concrete driveway in front of the whole neighborhood, trying to kill my ass, and everybody sat there and watched until my ass blacked the fuck out a couple times. That's what the fuck I mean. That's what happened. And did her ass go to prison? Hell no. They was trying to send me back later. Why? Why? Because she told them I had a fucking boyfriend and she told me not to. So that was excusable? Like, what the fuck do we be thinking is okay? And not even just this generation, the motherfucking mothers and grandparents and the great grandparents. Like, what did y'all invest in? Because I'm talking to all y'all, like, all these organizations that ain't really tapping into our wealth and making sure that that shit is spread across evenly. What the fuck are y'all doing? What's been y'all purpose all these fucking years? Like, what is your glory? What is anything? How the fuck can I have memories of our neighborhoods being black owned? Black owned. Like everything, nigga, I was fucking on the same street as a goddamn music studio. They was coming to us. Like, all this shit was black owned no matter what. Everybody wasn't necessarily like, oh, I gotta be a basketball player. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Like, we understood that everything goddamn mattered. Like, and at some point, I started remember, like, it's nothing. I remember when they started allowing the packers, I think it might have been the, I don't know where they was from, but when they started coming into our neighborhoods and now they got the stores and the food started changing. And now, like, all of a sudden, like, I used to shop at fucking local urban farms instead of the grocery store that was black ran in our fucking communities. Like, because if you go straight to the farm, nigga, you don't need the grocery store for real. Like, maybe for bullshit, but like the stuff that you need, the fruits, the veggies, and all of that, like, that you can grow in your environment. If you shopping locally, I used to be able to go get all kind of produce for goddamn $20. And we talking about how much a damn grocery store bill is now. Like, I used to be able to spend $20 or $30 at the grocery store and that be my groceries for like at least a week or two for me, like myself, without having no kids or anything. And because I always feed anybody else that come over because I cook or whatever, like, I can easily feed other people too. That's when I shopped at the local farms. And then, like, all of a sudden, they was closed down. They were no longer in business. So, like, we letting niggas come in and tell us that we can't have our farmland. We letting niggas come and tell us that we can't plant shit and grow our own food. Like, that's where we steady putting our energy in the systems that shut us down that way. And then all our energy go that way. So now we working, like, we trying to fight to work in where? Apple, who? And then when you start in Amazon and all of that, where you know, like, numbers wise, the most money you're going to get economically in anything is going to be small businesses. Small businesses fucking run the gamut. So even though I'm, like, excited, like, okay, like, all right, well, how many more t-shirts do we need? Well, I guess if you saying, like, people going to buy t-shirts, that's what you going to do. But, like, are we going to keep nickel and diamond each other? Everybody really don't need a damn clothing brand. Like, but we doing it. And I just be looking at them like, okay, like, fine. We getting out. We doing something. But, like, what about the shit that's really going to sustain us? Because that nigga came in with Amazon and they poured into him to where they fucking shut that shit down. Like, they not giving us nothing. I can tell y'all right now that when I look around, I can tell y'all right now, I'm just gonna break on my own situation. My ass grew up in the system, right? No support. I went into the military, but even when I had the most money in my life, I was holding together other people's houses because money was never really nothing to me. And, like, nobody taught me about investing and all of that. Like, I done had to learn on the go. So when I had the most of my money coming in at 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, you gotta think that's 2002, 2003, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Like, back in the early 2000s. I ain't know about investing and stuff then. Wasn't nobody teaching me. But what I did know was about a community, about heart. So even in that, my ass was sustaining other people's households for real. Like, because I knew, like, if I got it, you can have it, whatever was going on. And to never get that shit reciprocated, like, cause I don't keep score. Anything I do is from the fucking heart. And I do it and I keep moving and I don't never think about what I did for nobody else, right? Right? At all. But getting attacked by the same bitch that tried to kill you 28 years ago by her goddamn daughter and her granddaughter in front of your house when you know how much fucking work you done put in for other people. Like, nigga, I done got fired from jobs for fucking getting people kids into better school systems for they autistic kids. Like, when I say I go in somewhere and I see a fucking problem, I automatically go into it, like, and then I have to take on another system because, like, I walked in this goddamn classroom where this white woman is making what, about 6 figures? She went into their schools and became a fucking educator with a master's degree that told her how she can, like, teach special needs kids, right? Them niggas brought me in as a paraprofessional, which is another way of saying a teacher's assistant, but way less money for special needs kids, right? So I worked with autistic kids. I worked with kids that had Down syndrome. I worked with all kind of like special needs kids. So I walk in this classroom where they paying me $9.50 an hour after I done been through the military and everything, whatever, right? Like, whatever all my experience is, this is where the fuck, like, I can continue to get in at these low paying ass jobs. Whatever, like, I can make the shit work because I can make the shit work. So when I go in this classroom, we're like, in the fucking hood, nigga, on St. Clair, where I grew up in. Like, are you kidding me? A lot of my shit was on St. Clair. Like, yeah, I've been in foster homes in different cities and different neighborhoods. But when I rep St. Clair. So when I go on St. Clair into a motherfucking elementary school where they paying this white woman and it's a white principal in there, 6 figures or more, and then I come in and they paying me $9.50, and I'm only there for a fucking few months. But when I walk in the door, I automatically, just on the little bit of research that I did, I'm like, okay, well, they autistic kids. Well, you don't have the fucking classroom set up for them right. Like, you went to school for it, right? You said you got certified and you got a master's degree in special education. Well, they autistic kids. That means that they're neurodivergent, which means that, like, the lighting has to be a certain way in order. Like, they're sensitive, nigga. They feel everything. Like, so you got to make sure that the environment works for them. You got to make sure that the lighting system is correct. You got to make sure that, like, the rooms are insulated with noise at a different way. So when y'all building the building, or when y'all decided that this is where y'all gonna put them, like, in this section of the damn school, well, y'all should have made sure that y'all insulated and designed the fucking classrooms the correct way. But you in here, so now you can do it. So I'm just, like, popping off shit just in conversation, right? And now, like, I came in and I was assigned to one young boy because I'm working with, like, 1st and 2nd graders. Like, I think it was kindergarten through 2nd, because, like, that young in elementary, you know, and then special needs, they put them all in, like, a class, usually, like, 3 grades together, mixed up in the same age group. So, like, in its smaller classes, essentially, but they special needs, they need more attention because they all different. So I walk in and I'm supposed to be assigned to one boy, and I forget how many kids, because it's been some years that we had, maybe like 10 kids, 8 kids in the class, 10 kids in the class. I'm assigned to one boy, but, like, the kids always love me. That's not a problem. Like, I love kids. And so when I walk in and I got my boy that I'm assigned with, immediately, like, I get to know him. I learn to talk to him. They like, he violent. Like, he be hitting people. He get mad or whatever. And then we had, like, a non-verbal autistic kid in the classroom. Like, he was autistic too. Like, so they both on the spectrum on different ends. Like, it shows up different. And then, like, we going through their damn systems of even naming what our babies are and how to, like, deal with them when, like, clearly you don't know how to deal with him. Because when I come in, y'all tell me that my boy is a problem. Within a couple weeks, like, not even, he listening to me and answering to me, period. Like, and I got a way to communicate with him. I'm talking to him. He don't hit me like the shit that he doing to everybody else that been working with his ass for years. I don't have that issue at all. at $9.50 an hour while she in the classroom making six figures. Are you fucking following me yet? But guess what? That's because her people own the fucking system. They own the system. So of course they gonna allow her to go to the school where she gonna get her degree, and then they gonna make sure that like she got a position to where she gonna get the same money that we invested in. So everything that we invest in gets upcycled for them and their family, and we over here be begging for pennies because we can't figure out like, okay, but Verse, let me tell this. So I go in there, I'm like, okay, my non-verbal boy, like he very, very affectionate. He like to touch. He like to touch on you, like to be on your hand. So like now I got two of the kids that's like all on me all the time. Like, and I'm still managing the classroom, and I got so motherfucking good at it that the teacher was calling off all the goddamn time. And because she best friends with the principal, like most of the time that shit not going off her vacation time. They not taking none of her time or nothing. And then now you got to think how we let them come in and dominate the unions or whatever. So now they got the best interest of the union. So like, if you a union member, it's hard for their ass to fire your ass off of any goddamn thing, right? But that's under them. Like, she a teacher. I'm a paraprofessional. It don't even matter because she protected in ways that I'm not. But she comfortable enough to leave me in the goddamn classroom with them for days at a time without her being. And all they do is bring another substitute teacher. But the teacher can't say nothing to me because she don't know the goddamn kids. She don't know what they need. The kids listening to me. So essentially, I'm managing the classroom at $9.50 an hour while her ass is making six figures, however much that bring out for the hour, right? Like, whatever. I ain't never do the math for hourly. So then we just talking. I'm talking to her about like the special treatment that each of the kids need. And I'm essentially like, because I'm looking at it as a black woman, like, as these black boys get bigger, because both of the one that had the most severe problems was black boys, young black boys, they young. Ain't nobody gonna give a fuck about them being a fucking black boy or like being autistic or special needs. If anything happened to them in the street, like, they gonna fucking try to hurt them. So it's not okay for like my boy over here to like be expressing himself by hitting. You have to be able to communicate with tell him that he can't hit. So immediately, like, that's what I'm working on, because you ain't about to hit me. I don't care who kid you is. I don't care. Like, no, because sometimes if you need a lesson, nigga, you hit me, I got to hit you back. Then now you know you didn't like it, right? Like, that's how I'm probably going to teach you. Not even, and I don't even be hitting kids, but like, everybody got different learning styles. So if I tell you don't hit me, like, I don't know how much you can process right now under your autism, like, what you know. But like, all I had to do was start talking to him. Like, he was a biracial boy. Like, his dad was black, his mom was white, and I don't know if his daddy was around or whatever. His little sister was in the class too. And I would just be like, hey, so how, like, I need you to talk to me. Are you sad? Like, I just helped him learn how to tell me what he needed with his words instead of like using his hands. And I understand that, because growing up how I grow, like, nigga, I got anger problems. Like, it's a reason I stay so mellow, because I skipped to 100. Like, in my mind, when something happened to me, nigga, I'm already at the end of the line. I got to go backwards. Like, you do something to me, I'm already like on the way to get you up out of here, instead of like just trying to hurt your feelings or something. Like, or if it take a word, like, nigga, I'm trying to kill you one way or another if you do something to me. So I try to keep my shit way, way out of line, like way whatever, because like when I fought a police officer in high school, at that point in time, I was like, he put his hands on me and I had a blackout. So I don't know, like, when I came to, I was in handcuffs, and I immediately like got my hand out of the handcuffs and like tried to finish his ass off. Like, nigga, I come from abuse. Like, you can't put your hands on me. You don't know nobody's background. I don't know. And you a man? Like, hell no. So for me, like talking to my kid over here was like, hey, you like my attention, right? Like you want Miss Nikki to talk to you, or like you want to hug Miss Nikki. You cannot hit Miss Nikki. It's not okay to hit. Like, and then when I see he about to be upset, I'm like, hey, are you sad? Like, are your feelings hurt? Well, tell me your feelings are hurt. Okay? Like, you can talk to Miss Nikki. Tell me your feelings hurt. Tell me you want a hug. Do you want a hug? Is that why you're upset? Do you need a hug right now? Okay, like before you spaz out in the lunchroom, like because the food, because also if you understand, like they have different diets, like certain things affect them. It's a texture thing, it's all kind of stuff. So he has specific stuff that he liked, and I gotta ask him, like, hey, do you, like, don't spaz out. What do you want? Like, don't try to hit nobody. What do you want? Don't, whatever. So I got to learn. And then my nonverbal kid, I ain't even know who was at home with him all the time, except for, like, I think it was his mom, either his grandfather, like. And for me, I'm like, okay, it's a black woman. Like, she working hard for her family. She worked. Like, I'm going to be looking out for her son over here. And all of this stuff while I'm in the classroom, they got their IEPs, right? So they IEPs tell you, like, they individualized education plan, what they supposed to be getting for them. So when you tell me that, like, he's supposed to have speech pathology and all of this stuff, and y'all signing off on the IEP every damn time saying that he get it, and I'm in the classroom, and I'm like, no, he ain't. Like, no, he ain't. He ain't getting it, you know, because I had to catch up. I'm new to this, too. Like, I got this job because there was a job, but it was planned, and it felt like something I could do. It was wintertime or whatever. Like, okay, whatever. Like, it's a job. I could do this. It's for kids. Like, that's where my calling was at that point. So I'm over here, but I'm learning on the job as I come in. So I'm only in for a couple of months when I'm like, and I'm talking to her, and I'm like, they need better schools that's better equipped for them. And she agreeing with me and everything. The teacher, when she there, like, she agreeing with me, and we having conversation, and I'm like, and whatever she mentioning just from her education, I go do my own research, and I come to find out, like, Cleveland got enough special education schools, right? Individualized for, like, special needs kids. Like, Cleveland Clinic, the learner damn center, like, it's inside of Cleveland Clinic. And I don't fuck with Cleveland Clinic for real. And I ran it before I put my kids over there, because I'm like, this school would be perfect for him and his behaviors. I'm looking at everything that they specialize in. I'm doing the research to see, like, which schools would be beneficial for them. Because after a few months in, I'm like, nigga, I'm quitting. Like, y'all don't pay me enough, so I'm going to quit. But I'm not about to leave my young boys over here, my young black boys, especially at this age. Like, this is the perfect time to catch them, to be able to make sure that, like, if you get them in the right environment right now, autism or not, they gonna be okay, right? So, like, when you look at the demographic of students and things at the damn in the learner center, which is where the school was at, which is where the special ed school at inside of there. Well, you got to think about the employees, like, think about the demographic of anything at Cleveland Clinic, period, with that money. Like, who do you think is really getting in that school, right? Of course. Think about who all the students was. Well, shit, all right. Now I know that they have scholarships over here for, because Cleveland Clinic, that school being over there, it's in Cleveland. And all they doing is, like, funneling. They move in Cleveland. They move in certain areas and neighborhoods in Cleveland, and they have access to the information that's not readily available for us, like, period. So they get the scholarship money that's out there. So essentially, the money that's put aside from our taxes or anything else, they still funnel in there for them, and they make sure that they get it. So when I come across information as I'm reading, as I'm doing the research, like, oh, okay, it's scholarships. Well, guess what my kid about to do? Get a scholarship and get into the fucking learner center where he gonna get the care that he need before I get up out of here. And all I did was like, cause that's my professional opinion. So I wrote a note, and I did it for both of my boys, cause I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do it for all the kids, but these two need to be out of here now, because like my baby right here is nonverbal, but he young enough that if he get in the right environment and get the assistance that you say that he need in his IEP, then off the top of the rip, like he's still young enough, just knowing brain development and anything, and how kids pick up anything, where like he can still be able to have his motor fucking functions, like to be able to still make words, to be able to still make sounds, to be able to develop a language now, right? Like he'll have the proper team and the proper resources that, and for his school, when I did the research for him, he was supposed to be better at like the school of Montessori, because I was also thinking about like his mom work. I don't know if she a single mom or not, and she a black woman. Like I understand that she probably needs some help, and whatever information that is out there for both of their moms, like, but I was doing it for him. His mom just, my other kid, like his mom just happened to be white, but I was doing it for him. Like, and for the black mom, of course, I got like way more sympathy. I know how it is for black moms out here, and how much ain't nobody really gonna give you no help for real if they don't think about it. And oftentimes it's just, we don't fucking know. If you don't know, you don't know. And like, I'm like, damn, her baby in this school, like the more I was learning, I'm like, so she trusting that they doing all this stuff for her kid and they ain't doing it. So before I fucking get up out of here, I'm gonna make sure that they good. So when I start doing the research for him, I'm like, okay, he probably would be better at a Montessori school, and then they have school in the summer. So I don't know if it's hard for her to get childcare in the summer for him. But if he going every day, it's just a part of routine, because you know, for certain autistic kids or for the spectrum, like routine is very important, and for some it's way more important than others. So I was like, okay, like she'll have a routine and he'll have a routine, and if she want to take them out for a minute for a break, she can do it at her leisure. It ain't got to be stressful and trying to find like a daycare or whatever it was. Like, this what I was thinking. And then I'm like, they got horse riding. Well, like, I've been working on building my own communities because I grew up in the fucking foster care system. So like, all the stuff that I know didn't work for us, and all the stuff that I did, like, I've been working on my business plan forever. Horse therapy is great for everybody. How many black kids do y'all know getting horse therapy for real? Like, it's good. They get to get it. So I'm like, okay, they got horse therapy. They go to school throughout the summer, and they offer them, they have a day camp, like a day school, but whatever, it's not really a break. Like, they still around the same kids and whatever else, however they schedule is. I'm like, okay. So I clocked out everything that would be good for him as an individual, and his damn mom and probably his family for the support. And then I went and looked at the scholarships that they have for that school. Like, nigga, I'm in here and I'm doing the work. I can just do it. So I got all the information together, put together 2 separate packets for both of my boys in the classroom by myself. Not the teacher's help, not her input, not her nothing. Just like us having conversation, and then me sharing my concerns and her agreeing with my concerns and telling me that like the whole time they still been in this school, that she done had them however couple years, like whatever. Like, okay, so I'ma do what y'all ain't doing apparently. So I put together 2 packets. I wrote a letter for each kid, and I said, like, this is why I am recommending this school. And I even like, I printed out like multiple scholarships, because if your kids are special needs, it's multiple scholarships out there available. So I printed out like the multiple scholarship list. I don't even know if I still had it. I probably don't even have the information no more, but so much. But it's like websites and stuff that give you the scholarships that the schools will take, that comes from the city of Cleveland. So I printed up all the information about the scholarships for each kid separately. Wrote a letter, like typed up a letter on everything, on like why I chose the school, what was more important, like what I thought was important. Like, I gave my professional opinion from being in the classroom with them, and put all the information, maybe even printing out their IEP, because their parents, they get a copy of their IEP anyway. So I might have printing out a copy of their IEP along with my concerns for both boys. Because one of the boys, him and his sister, I figure like one of the boys had a sister. So I figure if I do it for his sister, if I do it for him, then his mom can just take the lead and just do it with his sister. If she want to put him in the same school or different schools, or, his sister wasn't as needy as him. So like maybe she might want to keep her there. Like I didn't know what choice they would want to make as parents, but like I made sure that they ain't really have to go do much research outside of maybe making a couple phone calls or anything. Like that was it. And I put it both in their homework folder and sent it home with them, right? So like one of the boys, his mom didn't check his book bag, and I didn't think it was a big deal. Like the teacher was she was always out the classroom at this point. So this day that I particularly finished everything and sent it off, she wasn't there. So the next day she came to school, and one of the boys, his mom didn't check his homework folder or whatever. So I guess she checked it. She took his homework folder out, because we would get the homework folder. She took his homework folder out, saw the packet, I guess, got in her feelings for whatever, I'm assuming, went to the office and told the principal or whatever. So I ain't know. I had an idea I paid attention to everything that was happening. I didn't really know it was a problem, because I had told her that I was going to do it. And she was like, oh, okay. But I guess since there wasn't nobody else doing shit, maybe she ain't know this nigga, you talking to a motherfucking pro. Like, I keep my word. I keep my word. So I did it. Her ass went to the office. I seen it, like, in the way she rushed out the classroom. I'm like, damn, something wrong. I didn't really think it was about me, but if it was, like, I ain't care. And because I do my damn job. So she goes to the office, and when she come back, she like, the principal wants you in the office or whatever. So I go into the office, and like, the teacher came. I think she had like one of the other teachers, like special ed teachers, because there was 2 special ed classrooms. So she had like one of the teachers from the other special ed class come and sit with our class for a minute. And we both go in the office, and these bitches sit right here trying to tell me that like I'm out of line. I stepped out of line. I went over my job description. I working like above my pay grade or my job title. And I popped back because like I let you finish. And then of course, like, and first of all, and because both of y'all white women trying to fucking talk down to me, bitch, please. Like, I don't give a fuck about your degree. So I let them talk and like all the shit they was talking, and then she just like, well, I'm gonna have to let you go. And what else she say? And I just popped back like, first of all, you can't never tell me that I'm outside of my job description, because as a paraprofessional, it's the very job of a paraprofessional, which tells you in the damn job description is that it's my job to do everything in the benefit of my children, period, like of my students. That's my whole job as a paraprofessional. So your argument of why you telling me that I'm losing my job is insufficient. Like, there's no it's a lie. You can't fire me under that merit, for real. And then she like, well, you taking money out of the school district when you get a scholarship, like by giving them this information, if they get these scholarships, you taking money out of the school district. And I'm like, once again, that's not my problem. Like, I don't give a fuck about the politics and none of this shit. Like, I'm here for my goddamn kids. That's what I'm here for. Like, the politics is somebody else's job. I'm like, and also, that's a lie. It's a fucking scholarship. It comes from a pot of money. I'm not taking nothing from nothing. Unless if you think about on the other flip side of it, that like, whatever money don't get used in the pot for the scholarship money, at the end of a year, if you ever worked in nonprofit or anything, like, and I'm just kind of like, you know, I ain't went too deep, but I'm assuming that it gets absorbed into somebody else's paycheck or somebody else. And then if I want to go another way further, another way down the line, nigga, at the end of the day, you just mad because I might have just took 7 or 8 or however many students we got. If all their parents started talking, I just took that much money and that many scholarships away from your families, away from your communities. Because all y'all do is keep the shit over there for y'all in your neighborhoods and your communities and the people and the mamas and the play dates and shit that y'all know of. Because the majority of the kids in these classrooms is white, right? Like, well, they were white and they were, well, look at the demographics in Cleveland Clinic. You know who they are. You know where they coming from. We got a lot of Middle Easterners over there. It's a lot of white people over there. Like, in those positions that's gonna be in those schools, that's gonna, and at the end of the day, if you think about it like that, if they get in the scholarships, however they playing, because they always gonna figure out a way to write between the lines to make sure that they kids get accepted, because that's what you do when you build a community for yourself. You make sure that you and yours gonna get in no matter what. So then whatever money that they spending to pay out for whatever private schools or whatever they would have spent out, or whatever money that it costs to get into that fucking program, they ain't got to take it out their household, nigga. That money is taken somewhere else. So if you come from another country, you just pouring it back into your own country. If you from a fucking another community, or like if you white or whatever, guess what? Now you can pad up your investment in your retirement portfolios. Are y'all following the fucking system? Do you see how my mind work when I'm telling y'all that I see systems instead of people? And I'm just like, do y'all not understand just how much they use our energy for anything? Because I came in, I saw some shit, and to be honest, like, so I let her fire me. Like, I don't care. I was about to quit anyway. But before I left the school, to make sure that I would still be covered under law in case anything happened, I went into our classrooms, because if you ever worked in the school, you know the special ed classrooms, we got a phone for the parents in case something pop off. I called both of their parents, like, and my nonverbal boy, his mom was probably out. She was at work. I left her a voicemail and I left her my cell phone number, like my personal number, and I told her, like, I sent a packet home in his homework folder. They are firing me for sending you the information. So I just want to make sure that you got it. If you have any questions, you can give me a call on my personal number, because I'm calling you from the school just to make sure that I ain't breaking no rules that somebody might try to come at me and later and try to, like, get my ass in trouble. So I'm going to just go ahead, because technically I'm still, until I clock out, I'm on the clock. Like, if you, even though you say you firing me, you still got to give me time to get all my shit and get out. So I'm going to take my time and I'm going to finish some shit up, because the teacher was still in the office with the principal. And then I called, like, the other mom, the white mom, and I'm like, and I said the same thing, like, hey, I just got fired, but she was at home. So I'm like, hey, I just got fired, and like, I sent the homework. I'm like, I sent the packet home for such and such yesterday, and you didn't take it out his book bag, like, it's still there. But like, I made copies. Like, I'm like, I have copies. I think I sent myself, well, especially when I knew that I was getting fired, I just took all my copies and shit, uploaded everything, because I did everything on I did everything on my computer, sent myself the email for everything that I needed, and everything. I think I had everything on a jump drive or something. And then, because I was doing the research, right? So I called, and I was like, well, they confiscated everything, but I can print everything out for you and send it to you again, and like, whatever. But I wanted to let you know, because that might be some information that you want. And she was like, okay. She was like, actually, can you come over to my house? Like, I was like, well, I'm about to leave the school, but I did want to say bye to the kids. Like, I don't want them to think that I'm abandoning them or whatever. And she was like, okay, well, do you mind coming over to the house? And I was like, all right. So she gave me her address, and I went over to her house. And, well, first I went to the library. Like, when I left the school, because they sent the teacher over, but we took too long, so the teacher had ended up taking our kids over to her classroom, to the other classroom. So I didn't get to say bye. Well, I got to, like, pop my head in for a second, but I didn't really get to say bye to them. So I'm like, okay. So, like, I left the school and I stopped at the library and printed out all the shit again, because, like, All you did was just take one, nigga. I got copies. And now I got permission to the mom for the mom to call her and come over while I'm here. So everything is covered. And I don't work at the school no more. So I ain't, if that's a policy that I ain't aware of, I'm covered under that too. And I went and talked to her and I told her everything. And I tried to catch up with her a couple times, but she said she decided to go another way simply because the teacher was helping her on the weekends or something with the kids or whatever help she was giving her. Essentially, they came in and intimidated her ass. Like, intimidated her, told her it was a bad thing, that he needed to be there or whatever. So I know, like, she didn't do nothing at first. I don't know if she did anything later. But, like, whatever they was saying to her, they scared her and she kept him there. And, like, that was my baby with the behavior issues. So I was just like, no, because he a black boy. I mean, he might be biracial, but he black. Like, he black and he was already stocky. So I already was clocking at how big he would be as he got older. And I'm like, as a teenager or anything, like, you want to make sure that, like, whatever I'm doing, whatever work I've done for him, because, like, in the couple months I was there, he did a whole turnaround. Like, so I'm like, I don't want to leave and that shit get bad for y'all, right? And I'm like, whatever I done, instead of it becoming undone, then now you could just put him in this school and just, like, figure it out. You have a little bit of time. So, like, the other mom, so she said no, but the other mom ended up calling me back that evening or whatever, or like a couple hours later. And I told her everything that happened. And, like, we talked a couple times. And when I went to the library to print out, I also emailed the entire whole damn school district. I don't care. Like, it's an email list. I'm going to the top. And because I don't know who friends with anybody, nigga, I'm tagging everybody on this bitch. CC, BCC, everybody. Like, I don't care. And I put the teachers in on the email. Because if you work in the school district, like, everybody email is right there when you start touching on them. So you. I ain't gotta hide shit. I'm telling on everybody. And I told exactly what happened. I told what I did. I told what was said in the meeting when I got fired. I uploaded, because it's a secure server. I uploaded everything that I did. Like, shit, I got the jump drive. I uploaded the IEPs. I uploaded everything to them. And I told them exactly why I did it. Because I'm like, well, they said that they fired me because of this. Well, the IEPs is like, they not following the IEPs and they need help. And so then they tried to pop off a couple times and I popped right back off in that bitch in that email. Like, don't fucking talk to me any kind of way. I don't give a fuck if this shit is on email. I don't care about none of this shit. Like, pop, bitch, whatever. So I end up getting a call from the superintendent at the time, and he told me, he asked to meet with me. So we met at the school and had a meeting because he was like, he was concerned because that's a motherfucking illegal to lie on the IEP, to say that you giving services that you not giving to the kids. Like, that's stealing because they get paid for that. It's essentially contracting, which another job for the school, like, for people. Like, if you get a degree in a certain specialty, well, you can now be a contractor with the school and whatever that is. Like, if you a speech pathologist, and I know because I actually thought about going to school for speech pathology way before I was in the school. Like, I researched all kind of, like, careers because I was looking at the money and everything, like, whatever, and what I would probably be interested in doing. So he was like, okay. And then he told me, like, okay, that shit is illegal. So now it's a concern. Now we're going to have to do some investigation. Like, can I meet with you? And I was like, all right. So at the end of the meeting with him, I told him, like, whatever I had, whatever questions I answered. And he was like, he complimented my writing ability. And he asked me if I want a job. And I was like, no, I'm cool. Because I just got fired right now over some political shit. Like, I don't want to do that. No, thank you. And I don't make enough. Like, y'all don't be paying enough. No, I'm cool. And so that was that. I'm like, and I was just like, really, Jay, I was mad at that time. I'm like, nigga, I just got fired from the school district for, like, doing my job. And you just gonna tell me about my writing skills and offer me another job? No, hell no. No, thank you. No, thank you at all. Like, No, I don't play by the rules that well, apparently. So I don't want to be tied to another set of rules in the same. No, I'm okay. And that was that. And it was a couple of follow-ups. I know they were having issues of firing the teachers or anything. That's what I was being told because of the union and everything. And I didn't really care. And that bitch tried to come at me a couple times and through like my book, leaving like fucked up reviews on my Amazon book thing or whatever. And they end up taking them down because to me, nigga, in my book, I don't care. Free marketing. Like, anybody know, as long as you talking about that bitch, if you put in comments over there, like, thank you, it's gonna work. I don't care what you saying. Like, whatever you saying about me, that shit don't matter to me. I don't, what the fuck? All right, like, let's see if it helped my numbers. I ain't even think that you would go that far, but since you did, like, how did you find my shit? Nigga, you stalking me? Like, she was another stalker. And so she popped her shit for a minute, and I wasn't even, like, when I left that was it for me, but apparently it wasn't. Like, I didn't know it was a big deal. I had no idea what was happening on the other side of it at all. Like, I did my job, and I completed it, and then I went about my business. And even my nonverbal boy, like his mom kept me abreast for a minute. She went after they ass and she sued them. Like, cause I told her ass, like, well, they said that's illegal, it's a problem. And I guess she was like, oh, well, I got a lawsuit. And she went after her and she told me like she got the scholarship and everything, like everything that went on. So I was happy. I'm like, okay, at least one of the two. And it was the black mom. Like, she was like, oh shit, thank you. Like, you have no idea. And she was mad because she said that he was getting speech pathology in another place, but because when he started school and everything, because they put it in the IEP and they said that he was getting it at school, how he was, the place that he was getting it at before, they told her that, like, well, since he was having to leave school early or whatever to come, the date that since he was getting it at school, it was fine. And she was like, I noticed that my baby regressed and I just didn't understand what was happening because, like, he had words. So, like, when I met him, he was making sounds. He wasn't really making no words. But his mom said that, like, no, he had at least he had some words and he started going backwards. So, of course, like, nigga, y'all told me my baby wasn't getting something and I moved some shit around for that. And, like, y'all caused him to regress. Hell yeah, I would have went after their asses too. So that was it. And like I said, that was years ago. But when I talk about how, like, they move and how we move is completely different, and we steady sitting up here like acting like we think they supposed to do something for us, and then every bit of thing that we get, we gotta go give it to them. Like, everything. It would be different if we sent a couple of us over there, because they only let us a couple of us in they shit that's getting the big money and the big positions and the big power and the big information and shit anyway, right? So it'd be totally different if we supported shit like they did and created our own systems. But, like, we got them niggas, like, what we doing? We got them letting us be scared to move. We got them let us boxed in, and even I see that shit because I'm like, nigga, it's they system. So when you tell me that, like, even if you telling me it's a private school, or I'ma just say Bryan and Stratton or whatever, it's a private owned school, right? Whoever the shareholders are, whoever the investors are, whoever whatever financial group that they done put together to build something that started off so small, to build more of them and get investments, because whatever play money they playing in, they make imaginary money all the time. Like, on paper, they gonna make that shit work if it's going to get them money, because all they gotta do is take it from one place to another. Like, they moving money the way they move anything else. Like, all they doing is moving numbers for real, in my opinion. And they just telling you that it's money. Like, how many dollars do you think really is in circulation? Like, all that shit could be made up numbers. They just put that shit on a piece of paper and they like, okay, like, this is what we gonna say you got. This is what we gonna say you got. Essentially, at some point, that's how I feel. So like, I'm gonna use, like I said, I'm gonna use Bryan and Stratton or whatever, like one of them private schools, because I went to a private college and got my degree at the end, like my social work degree. Yeah, so the holding company or whoever, those are attached to some energies, to some names, to some families, right? That got together and decided that they was gonna create their own system. So now we getting our damn loans and financial aid and whatever you paying, whatever money you gotta pay, and whatever you is for this damn paper and this degree. And now you gotta take all these unnecessary classes. So when I tell you that they systems gonna always pour back into their systems, because where the financial aid coming from? The government, right? Like, well, who benefits the most in this damn government? Like, whatever section education is under the Department of Education, it's a part of the United States government. Well, guess what? The United States government ain't shit for black people, for real, not collectively or individually. Like that, they don't have our best interest in heart. Y'all forgot that. So the Department of Education is gonna do whatever they do, and whatever the boundary is, like, it's going into them. It's going into their school. So now you got to take all these fucking unnecessary courses and classes, because even before you get in your coursework, they make up a whole bunch of unnecessary shit that you got to invest in. If you've been in school, you can run the gamut on how education works. And guess what? When you in the classroom and you see a lot of them, well, guess who getting the jobs? Just going to look at the jobs. Go look at who's sitting on the board, who getting the big money, who working for who working for that. And that's what we pour into. So, like, even your financial aid is going into their families and to their banks and to their systems, because those same banks is just going to blockchain your ass the whole time, block you up, your ass out. Redline you. We even got fancy words for it and shit. So I don't understand why we don't get together, because even during the damn pandemic, because when I say I was working on building a community, I'm talking about schools and everything, because I was in the system. So, and for me, my whole thing was about foster kids. Like, I grew up in foster care, so now I need to build a community. And every step of the way that I learned some information, well, okay, like, I knew exactly what I wanted my community to be. I knew I was going to have school. I knew whatever I was going to do, I already knew that I was going to have it, right? And that just meant that all I had to do was just get the information. So when it came down to the pandemic and they was talking about the schools, so like, my favorite library is East Cleveland Public Library, because y'all just don't understand that, like, East Cleveland Public Library was pretty much all, like, me. Like, it's a reflection of me. I see black people, I see black community, I see black people in the programs and everything. And just like being a library kid, like, for somebody that's like me, a nerd, and that grew up how I grew, like, the library was always a safe space for me. That never changed. It just became like a foundation of my life. And so I got friends in different demographics and stuff. So when you start paying attention and you learn how the funding and stuff go for different libraries and how they get funded, and how anytime you go to a library and check out a book, or anytime you go to the library and check in at the computer lab, or anytime you go to the library and participate in a program, that equals to scholarship and grant money and funding money for them, which now benefits the community, like, and they can offer other programs. Do you understand? Like, and then, even just a side note, East Cleveland was doing a drone program, y'all. A drone program where they were introducing so many different aspects of droning and careers and all kind of things. And do you know who was there? The Nepalis were in there. Because, like, if you didn't know, East Cleveland has I don't know what they're doing right now, but they had a demographic of people from Nepal coming up in there. So when I moving in there for a minute, and they be off in the cut, but they be there because East Cleveland is the border of Cleveland Heights. So you got to understand that when they come in here and they move in certain positions, they move in certain locations that allow them to fucking checkmate across the board, while we just stuck in the middle of the shit that we create for ourselves, right? So the drone program that happened, all of our babies should have been over there. All our whoever interested in any type of tech or anything, like all the programs that East Cleveland Public Library be having, and like we don't take advantage of. And I know I be giving out information as I come just through my circle of people, like just the different resources. And I be wondering like why they ain't in there. But whatever, just because like to me that's just what I do just for thinking. Like when I get introduced to something, I'm thinking about everything that opens up for me and mine. And then they do too, because they was in there with their kids. It was some adults in there, it was kids, it was some of the elders over there getting the information and stuff like that. And then they had like a couple programs happening for the drones. I tried to get like one of my nieces into the chess program. All kind of stuff. Like I tried to get one of my nieces into one of the pilot programs that was happening, but it got shut down like when COVID happened or whatever. Like when my niece was in middle school, I'm like, hey, what do you like to do? Like I'm about to introduce you to all kind of shit so that you won't end up having to be tied down to nobody's systems. So like you can create I want you to have like all kind of information and knowledge so you can do whatever the hell you want to do and be able to walk in anybody's door and be a consultant or whatever, set your own check, because we get so used to working so young and now we tied to $1 and we don't even know how to think outside of that. To think on how to be a successful entrepreneur and a successful business owner and like all of this stuff. Like, and I'm not talking about penny pinching. I'm talking about setting the stage so that like you have generational wealth. And that's the shit that I be popping out to the kids and the youth. Like back then that was around me, and especially my niece, because I used to take her to school every morning. And then like sometimes I would pick her up after school and I would be like, you and your friends, y'all right there, y'all walk down to the library or whatever, but as a group, a collective, because unfortunately we don't make our neighborhoods safe enough for our kids all the time. But that's a whole other conversation, because I want to finish this. So when it comes down to like the systems and everything, and even the jobs or anything, like everything that they do and the doors that they open up for them is going to freaking work for them. Like even when you think of like other libraries and what they have, what they offer, because of all of the funding and all of the tax dollars and everything that they get, they're like, we just don't be able to get within our community because they suck us dry before we even bring our take-home pay. And our take-home pay usually has to go for our basic essentials like food, which now, guess what? They set our asses down for COVID. They set our asses down for COVID, and all that money that we was getting, I don't know how many people was learning about investments. I don't know. Well, I wasn't, because I was working. I didn't get none of that COVID money. But like 2020 hindsight, I'm like, damn, that probably was the time where I should have sat my ass down. But because I'm healthy for real, like I ain't had no reason. I wasn't scared of nothing. And like any job that I have, like I had another job open to me and available, so I just took it. And then I was thinking about like how much they paid me for real on that shit. Like I should have really been able to sit down toward COVID, but it don't matter. Like, especially because like I bartended, I served and everything. So that should have been a time where like I probably should have been able to sit down and collect some damn unemployment, but I just took my ass to work. And I was working for like $10 an hour. Was I making 10 or 13? I don't know. Like whatever it was where I was working at the time, like. And I ain't mind because I'm like, it's a small bit. Like, well, I ain't gonna say small like in that, but like, it's on a scale of what it is, like how they throwing, like it's a business. Like, I don't mind supporting. If I gotta take a pay cut to help somebody that look like me build up their business, then okay. Like, I don't really try to finagle for paychecks or nothing, because I'm like, I expect you to be fair about shit. Like, because that's what I would be. If I know that I can pay somebody something, then I'm going to pay them what I can. Like, the way that we do, whatever, it's business. Like, the world of business could be the world of business. So I wasn't really about to, like, finagle. And I'm real particular. Like, I've been on the go all my damn life. Like, survival mode, however you talk. I don't have enough energy at this point. I'm 42 damn years old. Like, I ain't never had nobody taking care of me outside of whatever dollars I can get from the damn government. So if I gotta, or working. So if I gotta damn just figure out how much energy I have at this point to put out to anybody, then that's what I have to put out to anybody. Shit, like, if I feel like I can work 3 or 4 days a week and I gotta make that little bit of money work for me the best way that I can, then that's what the fuck I gotta do. Like, I don't know what nobody else want. I pour into everybody. I try to take care of every goddamn body, okay? Like, shoot, so when I talk about like education, like, even like during COVID, I don't have no kids of my own, but like East Cleveland, like they schools was way unprepared to be ill-prepared to be part of anything. Like East Cleveland as a whole, and I'm gonna use East Cleveland just because like it's a primarily black community, but like that used to be extremely affluent. So East Cleveland, their schools was not prepared to go completely online. So like they don't even have, because East Cleveland is his own city. So they don't even have, like, at the time, I don't know if they changed anything, but they didn't have like a internet provider for real. I don't think they had like a phone company no more. Like in East Cleveland, you got to use Cleveland stuff. And then like you got to think most of them, so many of them in poverty, they ain't have like laptops or internet or whatever. Like a lot of families wasn't prepared for their kids to have to be at home alone, you know, like sustaining that. And like the schools weren't prepared to have to put that in there. So they gave computers and all the way already. I was just like suspicious of that shit, because anything coming into our homes that's given from the government on that capacity, yeah, I just don't trust it. But you know, that's something different. Like, it don't matter. I guess that's conspiracy theorists. Because now everything that's happening in your house, they being recorded on them damn computers, the mics, the cameras, everything. Like, so when we say like the internet is run by the government, yeah, we the ops of ourselves, right? Because we ain't got enough of our own shit to be able to sustain our shit without letting them in our house somehow or some way. Even though we got all the creativity, even though we the hard workers, even though like we the labor force, even since we the labor force, however you want to put it. So like me just looking at like, for me, it was just like, well, I went to high school and like we ain't have enough books and shit and funding back then. Like I know what they was teaching back then. I know how the schools and shit, and then being in the schools as a speaker, because when our book came out, like I was popping my shit at the schools. Like people was asking me to come to the schools to talk to the kids. And I was doing that shit for free. And do you know how it felt when I was in there one time and like to find out like you asked me to come in here, but y'all know that y'all can pay somebody? So like literally while I'm in here talking to a class, you got somebody, they got a program where they just pay somebody to come speak to y'all. But ain't nobody ever like trying to set me up. Okay, whatever. Like it was I ain't never even think about it because I'm always there for the kids. So I just popped off. I'm like, all right, so the education system ain't shit anyway. We know it's not beneficial for us. And let me see how they doing. So, and because I know that like my community, I need schools. So I started popping off at like what type of schools are beneficial, like pretty much most independent. Like, because you know if you homeschool your kids, you can still like they can still graduate, and like you don't have to be stuck on certain agendas and certain criteria and stuff like that. Because like I don't know if anybody been researching the education system, but our schools are the most tested of any fucking kind of school. Like public schools are the most tested. They put the most restrictions on our kids to be able to move anywhere. They put the most restrictions on our kids to be able to learn freely. Because I wouldn't at others, like in education, I know people in cross education and teaching and everything. And I've had a couple people talk about like, I know a couple teachers who done got in trouble for real for just like teaching our kids in the way that they learn? Like, do you like getting fired because like you not teaching them how to read out of a book that they not interested in, so they not reading? It's that our kids don't know how to read. It's not that our kids ain't smart. Nigga, they shit is disinteresting. They shit is stupid. Like, I always personally say that, like, I think we too intelligent for they shit. Like, I think that the way they learn and the way that they brain process information is totally different from ours. So, like, when we try to get our kids to read and to, like, force their brains to be so, like, minimal to have to, like, do they type of math, they way, and all of that, like, when we try to force our kids into their systems, we end up killing off our damn brain cells. Like, and then like the parents, like they done conditioned us to be so into their shit that we want to pop off on our kids and like beat their ass or punish them, or, you know, just pour in like the importance of education when we ain't setting them up to get no fucking real education. Like, what education? That shit that they been giving us that ain't gonna get us beyond like what, mid wage? Like, how beneficial is that education is for us as a complete, as a whole, as a community, as anything? Like, no. And then when you start seeing, so the more research I was doing, I'm like, okay, so like technically you can just homeschool your kids and they can test out of school. And depending on the structure of the school, if you just like, because if you can't homeschool them, well, that's where community come in. You get together and find teachers that can, and what kind of money can y'all put together and resources can you put together to make sure that teacher sustained? Because if you get so much money in food stamps for your household, well, can you figure out how much this teacher need in her household with food every week or whatever, every month? And maybe pay them that way so they can still cover the food expenses in their house. Y'all get where I'm coming from? Like, using y'all resources to pour into each other to get us out of these shit individually and collectively. Like, the things, and I'm not talking about like the bullshit, because like now if they opening up their home, or even if we decided to like buy a house, even if a group of people came together and bought a house and then created a school, because I thought about that shit too. Like, as I'm coming with the information, of course, my brain automatically is creating the damn everything. So I'm like, okay, so you can buy a house and you can make it into a school, because you know the Amish, and back in the day, anybody, we didn't have these big ass buildings. We had houses like Schoolhouse Rock. Schoolhouse Rock. Schools were in houses. Or you can even do a small storefront building. If you're doing that, and yay, guess what? Now you have created a business and a school, because you can use whatever business you have in to teach your fucking kids, the students, something that makes sense. So like, if we decided to come together as a community and purchase a storefront, and you know how the storefront have like the damn apartments on the upstairs, well, now you have a homeschool, downstairs you have a business, upstairs however many apartments. If you renting one out to the teacher, you ain't got to worry about the teacher now having to pay for anything, like to have to pay for rent or something if they don't have a damn, if they willing to move into that, if you making it nice enough, like it ain't got to be slumped, but like make it nice to where if the teacher live in there already or whatever, like they ain't got to pay for they living expenses. I don't care how you figure this shit out. And then you move that across the board. And if you make a couple, or if you just make it classrooms, like whatever. Now as a group of whatever in the community, y'all done came together, bought a storefront, made one of the bottoms of business, which can also be part of the education and learning, making the top classes, the classrooms, where the apartments be at, different classrooms, because then you ain't got to fill it out. Like, be responsible of what you can teach. And if you have a couple people that love kids, that have the ability to teach, because I personally feel like the way that they teach is fucked up. Like, all you have to do is listen to the kids,
But we as a culture, we try to stifle our kids and try to control them and try to like ain't got no patience to be questioned and like try to be so domineering. We don't have no respect for our youth for real. Like as a collective, like we always gotta try to be bullies. That's the word I want to use to. It's a culture full of fucking bullies. But if we were not a culture full of bullies, if we were the village that we used to be, then all you got to do is have a couple of classrooms, have a couple of kids, and whether it's the daycare vouchers or whatever, however you play the game, to play the game like they do, when you start actually fucking thinking business on every sense of the word and resources on every sense of the damn word, now you got fucking business, education, using your resources. I don't care if it's from them, because if the same rules that they apply for work for them, they gonna work for your ass if you know how to maneuver it. You just can't depend on them for the funding. But if daycare vouchers are available, guess what? Now your daycare vouchers that you get for like after school care or whatever, the school hours just changed or whatever. I don't care. Like, get creative. I ain't got to do all the thinking for everybody, although I clearly can. And whether it's a actual teacher or a parent that everybody is trusting, or a couple parents that have the patience to be able to fucking listen and talk to your kids. Like, how much do it take them to learn to read? Do they actually have to be certified? Especially, and I'm not dismissing my teachers at all. If you have teachers that's willing to come together and figure out like how much they need to bring, like that's what I'm talking about. Like, it takes a damn think tank, like Shark Tank, think tank, community, one brain, individual, collective. Like, good fucking grief, like. God damn. So when I say that I've been creating whole ass communities and I repost that shit on Instagram to see that like everything that I know I have a business plan for, I just seen that, like, not to throw no shade at him, but like my goddamn idea coming to fruition on the scale that I wanted to. Like, Christian Bale is opening my dream of communities over in this year. Like, he's set to open up that shit for him and his people, when I've been creating the same thing in my damn head, step after step after step, for like, I don't know how many years, 15 plus, like 10 plus, whatever, like, what? And then when I think about like all the information, all the resources, all the people all the connections that I try to pull together at any specific time, and I'm like, is anybody listening? Is anybody coming together? Is anybody like popping their shit together? Like, is anybody thinking outside of me at all? And I'm the brokest one in this bitch. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't get offended or nothing, but like my group of friends used to call me the broke friend. I'm the broke friend because I don't got no money, like what they consider money. But I'm like, I'm not about to let nobody suck the fucking life out of me. Like, niggas done sucked enough life out of me. I done took care of enough people kids, enough people grandparents, enough people everything. Like, I done gave a lot of grace and forgiveness and help and resources and companion and God damn, like, no thank you. No thank you. And the thanks I get is a bitch beating my ass outside while I fucking, well, two. And they letting the one that stood and watched while I gotta watch like one of the neighbors come get in his car, and I wasn't even really tripping about that, because I mean, it's a dude, first of all. And like, I ain't know what they had. So if you come over and try to help, if somebody hit your ass, but like, to be on repeat, to have my life on goddamn repeat, baby, I'm so sick of this town. Like, I don't give a fuck if it burned for real or not. That's where I'm at. I am hurt and I'm angry and I'm so tired. And I feel so disrespected and so disregarded and so, oh my God, like, oh my goodness. I can't explain it. I can't explain it at all. Like, I feel like I've been set up somehow. I feel like I've been set up somehow. And it don't matter. Like, I know I came back from out of town looking different. So when I say like everything that I've been giving out, I need everybody to take and run with it, cause I'm not in a place where I want to give this city nothing else. Like, not another piece of nothing for me, nothing at all. When I get the opportunity, my ass is out of here for good. That's how I feel today. Like, oh, that's how I feel. Like, all the everything that I was hoping and planning and trying to put together for everybody and everything. Ain't no way in hell I'm about to do that. Ain't no, I'm not about to do it. Like, fall in fucking line if it happened from somewhere else. Like, I want out. I want out.